Are you ready?
A Shot of Wrestling, episode 313, and away we go.
Wait till get a shot, boy. Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot. Oh, so take a shot. Oh, yeah. I'm a street breaker. I'm a heartbreaker. This is my dawn. I'm a mold raiser. Rick Flair, Nature Boy, about to seek and destroy. It's an SOW. Let me hear you make noise. Take a shot, boy. Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of A Shot of Wrestling. I'm your host at Moxley, joined, as always, the happy, healthy Marcus Davenport Schwann. Marcus, how you feeling today?
Feel a little under the weather, but other than that, feeling awesome. Happy to be on the show, buddy. And I'm very happy, actually, because of the fact that the Jets are 3-2, brother.
Isn't everybody?
Now, I have to ask, how are you feeling, though, man? Like we went to the game together, and
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
You bounced.
Fuck yeah, I bounced. Fuck yeah, why would I sit there and take this shit? I do that at home. Like, all right, 5 minutes left in the game, time to turn it off. There was Jets fans, of course, behind us.
The thing is,
by the way,
you
Marcus
didn't have a ride.
Marcus was able to join us, by the way, so you got your tickets, so he sat with us.
Thank you.
So I'm like, all right, there's Jet fans behind us. Once the game was getting out of control, I don't. You were a little down for me, so I don't know if you heard this, but he was screaming all these obscenities. Like, I don't want to curse too much here, but like, a lot of nasty things that I wouldn't want my mother hearing me say. Right?
Right.
To the point where, like, all right, bro, shut the fuck up, dude, okay? This is why I hate fucking Jet fans. And like 10, 15 rows ahead of us, there was this Dolphins fan wearing a Cameron Wake jersey with like a little spiked up, those hats with the spikes hair.
Yeah, he was a little obnoxious.
And he kept standing up a lot. And so this guy's cursing and screaming and like, I'm like, shut the fuck up, I'm going to get out of here. The guy just taps me on the shoulder because I'm sitting next to our friends, Green Man included, who were wearing Dolphins jerseys in support of me. He goes, oh, not you guys. You guys are cool. I'm talking about that asshole keeps standing up. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks for clarifying that. So, we had a good time. It was, thankfully, the pregame, what do you call it, tailgating was awesome. We had a great time. But like, 5 minutes left. Right. I didn't want to fucking leave and take a long time to leave and hear all these Jets fans be obnoxious. I'm a gambling man, Marcus. You've been to Atlantic City. I'm a gambling man. In the third quarter, either the beginning of the third quarter or middle of the third quarter, I go to get some more drinks because that's what I do, drown my sorrows. And everything was fucking closed. The bars are closed. There's no more beer. There's no more wine. Nothing was open. They stopped serving.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing.
Third quarter?
Yeah. After halftime, I think.
Really? I thought it was only fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So I was surprised. So I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting there, like 5 minutes left. I got two options here. I could sit here like a man and take my beating. Or I could leave early and hope there's a guy selling something outside. Lo and behold, Marcus, as soon as I leave, there's some guy with a cooler full of White Claws. Now I hate White Claws. They're actually disgusting. But when beggars can't be choosers here. So I went to the car, had my drink, and by the time I finished my drink, you guys came. So it was fine.
Yeah. When I saw the Jets were going to win, with ease at that point, I was like, you know what? I have a baby to get to. Maybe I'm going to pull a dad move and beat the traffic.
Beat the traffic. Smart.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Not the case. So it took like an hour to get home, which sucked. But whatever. I heard it took Abel 4 hours to get home. So
no way,
I
really?
guess I won there. Yeah.
I mean, it took us a while to get home, but we stayed in the parking lot for a while. But
I saw that. I saw that on social media. You're doing a whole tortilla challenge.
I don't see how people lose this. It's so easy.
It seemed easy, but it seemed like you guys were going to light each other. Like, when I saw BFT versus the Hex and they were doing that, they were hitting each other pretty hard with those tortillas. You guys it seemed like you were just tapping.
Because we had small ones. So if I hit you with I can hit you with the tip of it without punching you in the face. There wasn't too much leeway.
Okay.
So I was able to slap somebody, but then as soon as I did, like the tiny little piece I was holding on to broke off. So we didn't get to the full. We weren't like the Undertaker, Michelle McCool video, but we tried our best. Great. Overall, though, great experience. Always fun. Did you have a good time? Yeah.
I had an awesome time.
Come back next year?
Of course.
Are you part of the crew now?
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Without stressing about getting you a ticket last minute? It'd be great.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God, that sucked. But honestly, I'm just glad I came.
Anyway, enough football talk. Let's move on to what's trending this week.
Absolutely, buddy. So the Good Brothers started off Monday trending. lots of excitement about this. Cultaholic Wrestling at Cultaholic tweets, the Good Brothers have made their return to WWE and aligned themselves with their OC teammate AJ Styles. Styles fiend joining the Judgment Day before reintroducing Gallows and Anderson. Anderson is currently the never open weight champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Putty, I have to ask about this because there's a lot of talks going on with New Japan now, with this being the case with Carl Anderson. Does this open the door for WWE New Japan collaboration?
The forbidden door?
Right? Would this be like a true forbidden door? Like, what would this look like? What are we talking about here?
They've had a past relationship in the 80s, 90s. Some Japan people came out in the Royal Rumble. That door has been ajar back decades ago. Triple H is in charge. He knows what's best for business. I could see something down the line, nothing to the extent that we saw with AEW and Impact, or what's going on with other Impact has done with New Japan in the past. But something could happen here.
Right, because it is surprising the fact that, New Japan has a champion that's on WWE, right? Yeah. That hasn't been the case. God, has it ever, even when they had that collaboration back in the 80s?
I think so, yeah. Know. I think they had some championships in the 80s and 90s.
But either way, that's a really long time, right? So, we see what's going on with AEW in New Japan. We saw what's going on with Impact and New Japan. So why not WWE, right? I mean, WWE is the biggest fish in the pond. New ownership, new reign here. Triple H seems like he's got something good going on with the talent. Seems like he knows what's going on here. Seems like he's in touch with 2022 and what the fans want and what even the wrestlers want. It's something very different, and I know you're a Vince McMahon guy, but something very different from what Vince McMahon was doing. So could that be the case where he can play nice with others? And then what other collaborations could that open the door with? We saw a little bit of a hint there with Impact, with Mickie James coming into Royal Rumble with the Impact Knockouts Championship there. Huge moment, and her theme song. So it does seem like this is a real possibility. To what extent? Not too sure. Will it be to the effect of AEW? Will it be to the effect of Impact? If it is, this is a bold statement here, I think Triple H can do it better.
Definitely. I don't think it's going to be to that extent. I know one of the biggest critiques of AEW is that there's too many belts now from different promotions. It's oversaturated with belts. And WWE is already oversaturated with belts. So I don't see that being a big problem, but I can see maybe when the Royal Rumble comes around, maybe a surprise appearance from that guy who's been on everywhere. John, I'm blanking his name. The guy with the weird haircut. Face John Moxley. Josh Alexander. Minoru Suzuki.
Okay, that's who.
What if he comes back at the Royal Rumble? I can see maybe a surprise appearance at the Rumble. I think this all stresses on the fact that if Carl Anderson drops the belt next time he defends it, if he loses that belt, then this conversation is moot. If he retains, which I kind of don't see happening, but again, that's the McMahon era, then we could talk. The door is still ajar.
It seems like WWE has had interest, and New Japan was listening. So it's not coming out of nowhere, if you will.
There was talks with Daniel Bryan when that contract negotiation was going on. But yeah, I definitely think Triple H is willing to play with others in other sandboxes that Vince McMahon was not able or willing to play with. And we'll see what happens. This is an exciting first step.
It is, man. And, by the way, when I said about doing better or to the extent of what AEW and Impact are doing, I don't necessarily mean like championships being held on WWE from New Japan or vice versa. What I mean, like it could be like a special like pay-per-view where like, how it was kind of like with Survivor Series or over SmackDown, but like WWE versus New Japan. It could be like a one-off like that.
I don't see that far. I see maybe people in the Rumble.
Maybe people in the Rumble, maybe a WrestleMania match. Who knows, man? But like, I think it could be special. I think it'd be cool. And again, if anyone could do it right, it is Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, new management right there.
Right.
So I'm excited to see. And then what would that mean then for Tony Khan? Would he get pissed off? Would that mess up his relation with New Japan? It's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward if this does wind up being the case.
If he wins his next defense, I think you just mentioned it, touched on it. He's not going to come to Raw wearing that never championship belt. We won't see these belts on the TV, but the door will be open enough for that. They'll talk about it.
They will talk about it. I mean, they've already been bringing up things that were never mentioned before, acknowledging pretty much a universe outside of WWE.
Yeah,
that's been happening.
Yeah, for the last couple of weeks, we see them mentioning like independent promotions. They have a history in progress. They have a history in random letters thrown together. Not an insult, but I just can't think of them offhand. So they are mentioning indies, something that did not happen, a month or two ago? So, yeah, I can definitely see them mentioning New Japan and stuff like that.
And another thing, I noticed with WWE doing that is beforehand with enhancement talent, they would just make up these random names for them. Now we see Danimo, they acknowledge her by her name.
Yep.
We had Joey Ace on this past Raw, they acknowledge by his name.
Can we pause that for a second? Let's props to Joey Ace.
Yeah, props to Joey Ace. Actually, I'm actually looking to score an interview with him soon about this.
I went to Raw in July in MSG. He was a paramedic, and now he's on TV saying his name, interacting with legends in a match. Props to him, my friend. Good luck.
Dude, that was amazing. He had mic time. What enhancement talent ever had mic time?
Exactly. Great job.
That was awesome. The fact that they did acknowledge by his name. It was a weird moment where, they had Joseph Torres, and a nameplate there. Yeah. But, Corey Graves said, no, that's Joey Ace.
Yeah, they mentioned Corey Graves called him Joey Ace. It's great, yeah.
Right. No, it was sick. But, that's what I mean, though. That's what I mean. There is such a huge change. It's subtle, and a real wrestling fan will notice because of the fact that, that's them acknowledging there's a world outside WWE. So this is some good stuff going on here.
I heard them mentioning outside indie promotions before. The last couple of weeks they've been doing that, and I remember they keep saying Progress. They mentioned Progress a couple times.
Yes.
So my limited knowledge, I believe Progress is on the network. So I'm wondering, are they only mentioning stuff that they have on the network? That's something hopefully somebody listening might be able to investigate further, because I just don't remember the other promotions they're mentioning offhand. But from now on, I'll keep track, because I think that might not be as exciting as I thought it would be if it's only stuff on the network.
We shall see. Something to keep an eye on. But moving on here, Putty, keeping in WCW.
Wow. What year is this?
About? Wow. Yeah. I must be really that sick. Sticking here in WWE, WC at WrestleCenter tweets about Austin Theory. Austin Theory was trending quite a bit because with this nugget right here, Austin Theory is currently on a 15-match losing streak in WWE. They say losses don't matter sometimes, but again, new era. You can't help but to see that stat's pretty alarming. Is it time to hit the panic button, Austin Theory?
I thought the same thing. I was like, this guy keeps fucking losing. He's a joke, right? He's not being taken seriously. But neither was The Miz when he cashed in. So I'm assuming this is just him doing what he has to do. Because he's not going to cash in anytime soon. He can't cash in anytime soon. I'm still going with WrestleMania. Who he cashes in against, that's a debate. But I think post-Rumble, he needs to start picking up the pace again. If not Survivor Series. And, keeps losing. He's a bad guy. Bad guys lose. Right? Bad guys are supposed to lose, get their ass beat. But if you're going to be a champion, you need to build some credibility here. He can't cash in on a, right now, 15, maybe a 30-match losing streak. That's an embarrassment.
Right.
So let him do what he's doing now. I think he's a nice fit on the roster as his losing. No one taking him seriously stuff. No one taking him seriously until he will, and then he'll be champion. But don't press the panic button.
When did that losing streak happen, though? Did that losing streak start happening before or after Vince McMahon left? I think after, right?
No, before. I think it was after he lost. He dropped the belt to Bobby Lashley. Was that SummerSlam?
Okay. So SummerSlam, he
was champion.
It was kind of it was changing of the guard then, though. That was Triple H's show.
True. Yeah, you're right. So it might be the Triple H thing. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, we all know Vince McMahon was very high in Austin Theory. Hey, I agree with Vince. Austin Theory is a great deal. We might be a little biased because, we got to know him in the Indies. But it seems like Triple H might not be. Or is Triple H looking to completely undo what Vince McMahon did?
I think Triple H is high on Austin Theory. I don't see how anybody cannot be. I think he was a chosen one, to borrow a phrase, for a reason. I think what Triple H is doing is trying the best to kind of wipe the slate clean of him being the chosen one versus McMahon's pointed, depict. I forgot the phrase they used. So let him keep losing. Let's forget about his whole protege type angle they were building up for the last several months. Let's forget about that, because he was built up. He was getting pushed to the moon.
Absolutely.
So I think this is like a Control Alt Delete type scenario. Let's forget about it. Let's erase the past. And then let's start pushing him again as Austin Theory, Mr. Money in the Bank, not Mr. Man protege, if that makes sense.
You know what he might need, actually? You know what would actually probably help him out a lot with this losing streak?
What?
I see what you're saying here. You know, I mean, like, let's take away the Vince McMahon aspect of it. Let's kind of, you know, shape him to be his own, which is kind of tough to do when, you know, he's already so established from the Vince McMahon era when he had the Money in the Bank briefcase. Mm-hmm. I think the only way that could really save him, that could save him grace from like all these losses here, is if he starts his own stable.
Oh, okay.
He starts his own crew. Like he starts, you know, needing backup and finding ways to squeak out wins, a la Ric Flair. You know, the believable guy that could get beat any moment, but yet still walks away with the championship, walks away with the W. I think Austin Theory needs that to revitalize career and still make it his own, but and still, you know, have the briefcase, be believable to be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And maybe that's why, you know, he's got an affiliation recently with your boys, Chad Gable and Otis.
I don't see him leading a faction just yet, but I see what you're saying. It could make sense. Give him some back, give him some muscle. Who couldn't use muscle in that, these days?
And Alpha Academy, I mean, like, that gives them more airtime as well. I think it's a win-win for both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Considering now, I mean, WWE is starting to get a little faction heavy lately. You know, what's another one?
Yeah, why not? Hope they don't. I mean, that was big critique with AEW. They're very heavy factioned. I think WWE needs to not do that.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, AEW, they don't have as much airtime as WWE.
True.
You know, that extra hour, actually technically extra 2 hours, right? That W has over AEW is monumental. That's how you truly maximize, you know, all these signees on there. Maximize your whole roster, give them something to do, and you know, have a storyline going. Where AEW, I mean, again, they don't have as many hours as WWE. So, like, yeah, they have a lot of factions, and you know, we're not seeing them every week.
AEW has a lot of factions, like oversaturated with factions. However, before we move on real quick, I think I have a new favorite faction in AEW. It was my favorite faction on the Indies. Congratulations to our boy Prince Nana and the Embassy making their debut on AEW. So happy about this. The manager co-commentary with a couple months ago is now on AEW. So excited.
I chased out the arena with a shoe.
So if he could do it, Marcus, remember, never give up, never surrender. But yeah, that was fucking cool, man. See the Embassy on AEW, some faction I've seen in the Indies last maybe year. That's cool, and that's a faction I do not mind being on TV because they deserve it.
Are you trying to position yourself to be part of the Embassy? Is that what you're trying to do right now?
Oh, no, I already did. Me and I have pictures of me and Prince Nana doing the Embassy pose.
Of course you did.
I should pose it. I'm surprised I haven't posted it yet.
Nana, I have a shoe waiting for you. I'm sure we're going to cross paths at the Grand Dragon Tournament at BCW. Hey, buddy, Speaking of the Grand Dragon Tournament,
yeah,
that leads me to my next guest here for Shot of Wrestling in Hollywood's Corner. He is the All-Father. He is the face of franchise in any promotion that he touches. No stranger to gold as well. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Darius Carter.
The All-Father and all of his beauty and splendor returning to you, Mark Schwain, to have this conversation, to get to talk just a little bit about a lot of the things that are going on. So I hope you're ready for this.
Much respect, but it's Mark Schwann, actually. I would hope, since you bashed my head against the turnbuckle, you Schwain, but whatever. Listen. Let's. It's not about me. It's about you. You know, I forgot certain titles here to your name, but one of which I did on purpose because I want to touch right into this. Going right into congratulations to you, Mr. PWI 500, number 149. You jumped up like what, 80 plus spots from your last
82
number?
82 spots.
82 spots. That's amazing, man. Congratulations on that. Well deserved. I want to ask you this before we touch on anything else here, because I'm just curious. You know, you're no stranger to success, obviously. You know, you've been on the PWI 500 before. You know, so you probably had an idea going into this year, like, oh, you know, especially after everything you've accomplished this past year, which has been a lot, you're going to be on there again. At that point, though, is are you looking at a certain number that you want to hit? Do you have a goal of like a number that you want to hit going into this year? Did you accomplish? Are you happy with the spot you're at right now? I know is being on there. Is it just being happy, just being on there? Like, what's the mindset for you?
No, it's not just about the number. It's about the boost. It's about the jumping in spots. Again, going 82 spots up. So 2020 was my first year of officially ranking. At 337, and then 2021 I was 231. So I jumped 106 there, and then to go from 231 to 149, 82 spots, and I knew that I was gonna get into the hundreds. Like that was, I knew when I had the 5 championship reigns at one time. I was all over IWTV, as Sheamus would say, banger after banger after banger, and match after match, promotion after promotion. I was very confident that I was going to rank in the hundreds, and I'm glad that I did. And did I know that I would be 149? I can't say that I knew that I would be on the top 150 crust. There's a lot of things that go into that, that voting process that I don't see. I'm not the fly on the wall, but I just look every year to see where I rank and to see where I end up. And next year, I expect to be in the double digits. That's where I'm looking to be. Every year, it's about boosting, not so much about how many spots, but about getting yourself into that lower portion. The 300s to the 200s to the 100s. Next, I need to get into the hundreds. I need to be the next, the best 100 or the best 99 professional wrestlers in the world. That, to me, if you ask me, do I think that I'm better than 149? I'm going to tell you that. But I'm very proud of that number. I'm very proud to be ranked in the top 150. No TV appearances, no contracts, no tryouts. So this is just me doing it my way, and I'm sure it baffled a lot of people. I'm sure some people kicked over their desk and were like, "Oh my goodness," and threw a book against the wall if they own any books anymore. And that's their business. But for me, it's about continually improving, being the best Darius Carter that Darius Carter can be. Every day I have to wake up better. I have to go to sleep better than I woke up. That's my mentality. Even if it's just a little bit better, I have to go to sleep better than I woke up. And to see myself rank there and to see the feedback that it got, there are people watching, and they don't always respond. They don't always like or retweet you or follow you on social media, but they're watching you. And I'm affirmed of this every passing year, more and more. So there's a lot in store for me, and I'm excited for the future. But we're here to talk about the present and all the things that are happening now. So that's what I am. I am the present. And I'm creating the future as we speak.
Yeah, you always are, man. It seems like everything you do is by design. There's no accident for you. Everything's premeditated. You have a strategy. You're very good at what you do, obviously in the ring and out of the ring as well, as which makes you such a valuable asset, I think, to any promotion that you walk into. And you're continuing to make debuts in other promotions, as I see. And so obviously, yeah, as you mentioned, eyes are on you. But I do want to ask, man, you did touch on something there. No TV appearances, but yet in the top 150, which I think is incredible. You see some people they do like the AEW Dark stuff where they do extra work on TV. Is it by design for you for not doing that? Like, I was actually thinking about you the other day with this. Like, how would your character even work as like an extra per se, as Darius Carter? Because you're no extra, man.
I'm not the one that has to say it. And, and that's the best part about being me and being the person I am is I don't have to say these things, and people say them to me all the time. They message me, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, DMing me, messaging me. I won't respond, but I'll see them. A lot of them, I'm just, and it is what it is. I'm not the one who's holding the pen. I'm not the one who's holding the checkbook in that respect. So a lot of people that are in those positions are looking for what they're looking for. It might be right around them. What they're looking for is already around them, and they don't look beyond that, and that's their business. But for me, it's just about being the best and proving that I'm an invaluable commodity. Not just a valuable commodity, but an invaluable commodity. You can't put a value on me because I continue to improve and improve and improve and improve and improve upon an excellence that's already established. I don't rest on laurels. I don't, Darius Carter, okay, you're going to, this is what we're going to get. I don't just show up and give you something. I don't just show up and give you something pedestrian or run of the mill. I don't give you anything that is anything less than full on 100% Darius Carter. I don't play the hits. You know what I mean? I don't say, oh, well, this promotion's bigger than the other, so I'm going to wrestle this way here and this. It's not how that works. And I bring that everywhere I go.
It's all strategic for you, though, because, like, you know, in acting, you know, like, you start off, of course, like, you know, some people start off in the extra world, but I don't want to talk about that. Like, you know, you do co-star stuff, right? The under fives. And it gets to the point you do a couple of those, and then you no longer do that anymore. You focus on the guest star spot. Sometimes you may even say no to, like, a network show where they're offering you a co-star. Like, no, I'm over that. I'm working on this. You have a strategy. Are you at that point? Is that what we're looking at here for you in your career? I
mean, for me, it's about building a brand for myself, right? I know that might sound a little crazy because I don't have merchandise. I don't sell merch. And I've stated that I'm particularly against it for myself because, again, that's putting a dollar value on material possession with my insignia on it. So Darius Carter, a Darius Carter scarf, I sell it for $25. That means that you can get a Darius Carter scarf for $25. That means I'm evaluating myself, a product to you for $25, for $30. To me, that never sat right. I don't want to see people wearing my insignia. You want to support me? Show up to a show, buy a ticket, you know, take a seat and watch me do my job. That's my mentality with that. So for me, it's definitely strategic. It's definitely planned. It's definitely, in terms of how I'm coming up, I just want to prove through work, through results, that it can be done. I don't need to be best friends with this guy. I don't need to hang around that person. I don't need to be on the phone with this person for 2 hours every day. I don't need to be in a circle or a cult or anything like that to get ahead. You know, I can I can show up to my promotions, keep my grass watered, keep it flourishing everywhere I work. All these places I wrestle, BCW, Pro Wrestling Magic, Warriors of Wrestling, all these places. Every single month, promoting, making sure it's being discussed, making sure it's being talked about, looking out in the crowd, seeing more people in the seats, seeing the revenue go up, seeing it being discussed more on social media. My job is to make my brands look bigger and look better. Mm-hmm. Okay, just like they're giving me an opportunity or they're putting me on as a wrestler to perform, I am there to bolster the promotion, to make it bigger, to allow there to be anniversary shows. 5-year anniversary, 6-year anniversary, 7-year. A lot of promotions don't get that far. And you get there because you have reliable hands that will be the pillars that will help build a place. And everywhere I go, and we've talked about this, and I've been very clear and adamant about this, I'm not just an envelope wrestler. I'm there to build a place. I'm there to be not a brick, but the supporting system of your promotion. And I can do that from multiple places at once. You know, that's clearly I do that currently, and that's what people should be seeing. Those are the results that get you in the PWI. That's what gets you noticed internationally. You know, for your work is by holding these championships, discussing these championships, making them a discussion, making your matches a topic. The results are known and posted online. This is what it's all about. It can be done. I am an example, a proven, true-to-life example of someone that can go into the business and do it his way without having to sit in a political chair, without having to grab a pen from somebody, without having to take from somebody's spot, or without having to kiss up, without having to buy a spot, without having to – I don't have to do that. I don't have to nudge for my place in this business. I will break my back and bend over, and I will do everything that I need to do to make it known, to make it a proven and established fact that I am a commodity that you need on your show. That's how I like to go about it.
And that's what I love about it. Like, you know, clearly I have talked about this time and time again, off air, on air, like about with you, when it comes to you put in, people obviously see what you do in the ring. And obviously, you're very gifted at what you do in the ring. But I think that's the reward. You know, there's so much work that you do outside of the ring for your brand, for the promotions, that don't get talked about enough. And that's the real work. that earns you all these spots that got you into the top 150 of the PWI 500, which makes you so valuable to any promotion. That's the real work I see that doesn't get talked about enough. So kudos to you for that. You talk about being the pillar, right? For being a pillar for any promotion. Let's talk about BCW. Obviously, a pillar there for so long. We have another show coming up October 30th, the Grand Dragon Tournament, which you will be a part of, which you talked about to me off air. You were a little bit surprised to be a part of. Why?
Yeah, and this event, again, another BCW event that's huge, coming off of the heels of a monumental anniversary event. We were there at Hooters afterwards. This is what we're talking about. So BCW continuing to be on the upwards trend, right? Continuing to be on that positive slope. And how do you get there? For someone like me who shows up every single month, every other month, or whenever you're booked, to make that place better. How do you make it better? Not just by having great matches, but by making people know what's going on, by making it a topic of discussion, word of mouth. This is what Darius Carter is doing. Everyone knows what Darius Carter is doing at every single BCW event. You may not know what someone else is doing. You may not know why that person is there. You may see a debut. Okay? But at the end of the day, when you think BCW, the first thing you should be thinking of is, what is Darius Carter doing? That is the mentality that I look to instill. So then we say, hey, Darius, this Grand Dragon tournament on the 30th. Listen, this tournament has been on the cutting room floor, and I said this to you, again, off air. It's been off the cutting room floor for over 2 years. How is that possible? How has this championship been an idea turned into reality, right? We have a physical championship somewhere. Someone has it somewhere in a briefcase, sitting in a closet somewhere.
I have seen a picture of it. I want to clarify. It does exist.
A picture of it, a PowerPoint somewhere. This championship has been in concoction for 2+ years. We've seen the Grand Dragon tournament. We've seen names announced. And I'll be honest with you, I was champion at the time when that was going on, 1,227 days. So I was waiting for someone else to pick up that title. And then maybe, hey, that person tries to get a shot at me. I saw Rick Recon's face all over the place. So I said, oh, maybe that kid will grab the championship. And then I saw Gangone. And then I saw Lala in Atlantic City. So listen, I was there.
Very vocal about that too, yeah.
Okay, I was there defending the championship against JTG in the main event while they were still doing qualifying matches for the Grand Dragon tournament. So now here we are.
Ta-da!
But why, right? Why now? And then we tag me, Darius Carter, to come do this event. I didn't ask to be in the tournament. I made no request to be in this tournament. That's no disrespect to this championship or to the division. But I was enlisted. I was beckoned for this tournament. Why? Why was I beckoned for this tournament when I'm right there to face Marina Shafir any given month and get my title back? Championship loss happened in March, right before the Super 8. I won the Super 8, went to the anniversary event, soundly defeated Reverend Ron Hunt. There's no obstacle for me to go over to get to Marina Shafir. There's nothing in between her and I except for a pen and a paper that with both of our signatures on it. So for this tournament to be suggested to me is definitely interesting.
Would you winning the tournament, would you becoming the first ever Grand Dragon champion here at BCW, would that mean anything to you then?
Oh, absolutely. Now, and this is what I was going to get into. Let's make no mistake about it. The title doesn't make the man makes the title. And that's why I believe that I was called to do this tournament, because they need someone to talk about it. They need promotion on this title. They need to have the Grand Dragon Championship be a name in the hat. They want it to be trending on social media. They want to hear people talk about it. They want wrestlers to come into the DMs and say, hey, I want to wrestle for the Grand Dragon Championship. I want that title match.
Like how Shawn Michaels made the Intercontinental Championship, pretty much.
Okay. All right. This is what happens. This is what this is why I looked at that email that I got and I smiled, because that's when you're a company man. That's when you're the reliable man. That's when you're the old man in the forest that they call upon when it's time to help save something, when it's time to, we need that spark. We need that electricity. How do we get this off the ground running? Darius Carter. And that's a tremendous position to be in. It's not me bragging about it. I've earned that place. I've established my place, not just in BCW, but all around. But just in BCW alone, I have more than earned the right. If we want to be honest, you could have just handed the title to me.
Ooh.
But
Ooh. Is that a knock on the other talent that you're talking about here? Let's get to that.
They could all compete in a gauntlet match, and then the winner faces me. I mean, that's how it really could go. But I'll play ball. I'll compete in this tournament. Would it matter to me to win the Grand Dragon Championship? Of course, because I'd be the first ever to hold it. That would mean that I would set the precedent for that championship and for that division. And look what I did with the BCW Championship. There are people that still think I'm champion. Some people don't even know. People don't even know Marina's champion. There may not be too many that don't, but there are people that still believe I'm BCW champion to this day.
Because of what you did for the promotion, of course. I mean, Darius Carter synonymous with the word champion. That goes for any promotion you've been to, including BCW, of course, with the record holding here. But, talking about tournaments, you talked about the Super 8 tournament that you've won. So you're no stranger to tournaments. If anything, you have the leg up over any other competitor in this. So what is your strategy going in from, what was your strategy going to Super 8 that you would apply here? Would it be the same?
I mean, and we look at the tournament history of Darius Carter. I've won the last 3 tournaments that I've been in. The Super 8 tournament. I did the Catalyst Wrestling tournament. There was a CDAO tag team tournament. Myself and O'Shea Edwards won that tournament. The King of New York tournament for Warriors of Wrestling in 2021. I won that tournament. Oh, and you know what? I won the last 4 I did because I actually won the Dark Arts Championship 2 years ago. So the last 4 tournaments that I was in, I've won. I'm a tournament man. Why is that? Because I know how to wrestle a tournament style. I know how to preserve energy. I know how to take my time to pace myself and not go all out in the first round. I don't crash and burn by round 2. I know how to compete in a ladder format. And a lot of wrestlers do not know how to do that. They think they do. They believe they do in their heart of hearts, but they do not know how to wrestle in a tournament format. They don't know how to read their opponent. They don't always watch their opponent's match to know what happened so that they can attack it in the second match. This is what I do. I study that TV screen. I study these matches. I am the most dangerous threat in a tournament style setting. And that's why I feel kind of bad for these people in this tournament. I feel bad for the Lalas and for, the Jay Bougies, if they even make it out of their rounds, because they have to face the sharpest mind and the most gifted talent if they make it through in the last round. How are they going to be feeling? They're not going to be 100%. Are they going to come in with an injury? Are they going to come in wounded? Are they going to come in distracted? I can tell you right now, it's a shame. It's a shame because part of me really wanted to see someone else grab that title and rise up to challenge me as the heavyweight champion. Obviously, some things have changed, and now I almost have to use this championship not as a vehicle back to Marina, because I'm already there with Marina. There's nothing in between her and I. So this championship,
if anything, just make it bigger.
Yeah, right. So really, well, listen, I need to beat Marina and get that title back. That's what I need to do. I do need to defeat Marina. It's not winning this championship and then I forget about Marina Shafir. It doesn't work.
Oh, no. I know you well enough right now. You have not forgotten Marina Shafir. Nothing will make you forget about Marina Shafir until you beat her.
Oh, absolutely not. But here's what you do. Here's how you work as a champion. A lot of people can't think like this because it's simply too grand in scope, right? But I can be the BCW World Heavyweight Champion. Let's be honest. They were having a hard time finding me challengers for that, okay? For challengers of that caliber, okay? That's why they had to pull a Marina Shafir, fresh out of Raw Underground to come fight me. This is after JTG at the anniversary show. Right. So, again, they need to really surf and dig for those types of talent. So while I'm BCW World Champion and they're doing that, I can also build an entire division from scratch, the Grand Dragon division. I can cultivate talents, some young up-and-coming talents that want a chance against somebody like me, a final boss level threat like Darius Carter. You can have a match with me. Someone that's coming from another promotion, maybe they're there 1 or 2 months and they're going to be out and they need someone of my caliber to face. That's great. I can take that Grand Dragon division and build it and cultivate it from scratch while carrying the brand and being the franchise as World Heavyweight Champion. So imagine holding both titles. Imagine building a division, rankings. I will have rankings established so you will know who's worthy of being a champion, who's worthy of getting a championship opportunity.
God mode. God mode right there. Damn.
This is how you think. A lot of people, I just want to be a champion just so that I'm guaranteed a booking every month. No.
You're past that. You're past that.
I'm way past that. I don't need a title to be booked.
This is chess, not checkers.
But I'm here to do something that nobody else has ever done. Marina certainly can't do that. Marina's not even going to be at this show, huh? Marina,
she is not.
She won't be there. Do we hear that, ladies and gentlemen? And again, it was a matter of time until something like this happened. It was a matter of time. Every single BCW event that there ever was, Darius Carter was there and defending his heavyweight championship, even at the all-female shows, the Queens of the North. I'm the one who instilled the rule that said every championship must be defended at a Queen of the North, whether a male holds it or a female. It is an all-women's event, and I still made sure to be on as World Heavyweight Champion, and I faced Su Yung at the inaugural event.
Insane match for multiple reasons, but yeah, you definitely set that precedent, and there's no arguments that could be made here. Like, you really did set the bar as BCW World Heavyweight Champion like no other, including Joe Gacy, including Mike Orlando, including Azrael. You have done things for this promotion. I'm not kissing your ass here. It is the truth. You've set the bar here, and yeah, it's hard to argue that. And I'm a fan of Marina Shafir. Point Darius here in that one.
Point Darius in everything that I say. But listen. And Marina, I'm a fan of Marina too. I've never thought anything less of Marina in terms of talent, in terms of ability. And honestly, I think she knows that. But she's not better than me, and she never has been better than me. There wasn't a single point in time where she's been better than me since we met each other. So I that's something that will happen. Darius Carter, Marina Shafir 2 is inevitable. Again, there's really not anything in the way of that other than her not being able to make an event. But here's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I've been at every single BCW event, no matter how many places I was champion of. I was champion of 4 other places, and I was still at the show. Now, I don't know the reason, and I'm not knocking her for whatever reason that it is, okay? Business.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's part of AEW. Yeah, I mean,
that's not my point. The point of discussion is my face was on every poster, and I was at every show. And now I'm in this tournament because I need to be at a BCW show, and they have no champion, and they obviously don't want to just hand me the title because they would have done that a long time ago. So here I am. Let's get Darius Carter. You know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do with Darius Carter? We need some press on that Grand Dragon tournament. We need people talking about that title. I want that title to be as talked about as the World Championship. That's what the thought process was in that BCW office when they chose me.
I mean, it's great thinking. I mean, when Darius Carter is on an event, we talk about it. It is great thinking here. And, of course, you would be a worthy Grand Dragon champion. You would definitely, for everything you said and then some. Let's talk real fast because we are running out of time here. Let's talk real fast about your opponent. First round, Nevaeh Chantel. Do you have any words for her? What were your thoughts when that name was picked out of the hat for you first round?
Nevaeh. And what's funny, and I saw Nevaeh talking about, hey, listen, I lost the last show, but this show I'm coming back stronger. I'm coming back a monster. Listen, I was there. I wrestled Black G's at Pro Wrestling R several months back. And on that event, she wrestled in a match against Damaris Dawkins. And I was watching it back, and I said, you know what? I said, Nevaeh's picked up a lot. Ever since going to the Fallout Shelter and training there, she's been picking up, and she's definitely
great trainers, by the way. Sorry to interrupt, but great
fantastic.
trainers over there.
Steve Pena, Masha Slamovich, Jorge Santi. I mean,
Mike Law.
Mike Law. These are people that I can talk about to the end of time. So that's a tremendous school to be at. And I see the improvements that she's made. It's just a funny little thing that's going on now where a lot of these up and coming talents, I'm seeing a lot of them are being thrown in my direction now in different promotions. And now here's Nevaeh Chantel, who, imagine you lost your last show's match. And now you get an opportunity to win the Grand Dragon tournament, right? In this Grand Dragon Championship. Then your name gets pulled out of the hat. You're waiting to hear your opponent. They flip that paper over, and it says in cursive, Mr. Darius Carter. How do you think she felt? We're talking about how I feel. How did that woman feel?
I like this.
Probably like that. Probably like that. And the sad part is she cut her promo before they even announced for this tournament. She was just ready to talk about the next show. She was just ready to go. Match wasn't even announced yet. She didn't know she was facing Darius Carter. She was just ready to come back and make a statement. And now she has me. And that's the first round. The first round.
I do feel bad for her. I like Nevaeh Chantel. I've known her from BWF. I got to call some of her matches there. And to see her BCW, great for her. She's definitely improved, as you said, in the training in the Fallout Shelter. But, no offense to her, but she does not have the same prestige or experience that you have. So obviously you are a very tough task to go first round. I mean, you're definitely, you'd have to be the odds-on favorite in this. But does that play some sort of factor? Could there be a chance that you're overlooking Nevaeh? Could there be a chance for that?
And that's the question. Look, I understand how it works and how people could think, oh, Darius Carter could take her so lightly, he might turn around and she might just roll him up, and in the first round, and come on. And that's why I'm glad you did ask about the Grand Dragon Championship and if it means anything to me, if it's more than a promotional tool. And again, that's a chance for me to build a division. What people don't always pay attention to, or maybe they're missing it, is when I was champion of those 5 companies, I was the top champion. I wasn't the middle tier champion. I was the premier champion of all of those brands. Warriors of Wrestling World Champion, Pro Wrestling Magic Heavyweight Champion, Catalyst Wrestling Champion, BCW World Heavyweight Champion, Paris is Bumping Grand Prize Champion. Those are the highest titles of those promotions. So there's no brand that you're building because it's already there. What you're doing at that point as that type of champion is to stand at the top and to promote and to get it to them as high as you can. If it was 100, you get it to 120. If it was 120, you get it to 140. But in terms of a division, your main event division is already established. If you're a promotion without a main event division, then you are in trouble. So the uniqueness of the Grand Dragon tournament is that it has been on the cutting room floor for 2 years. This is a chance for me to take something and literally build it from scratch. There is not really a Grand Dragon tournament division. There's not really much known about it besides the people that are in it. What is that title? What does it mean? Are there rules to it? These are the questions that I can lay in place, that I can answer as champion, that no one else in that tournament is prepared to do. No one in that tournament is prepared to be anything more than a title holder. They're not ready to carry a brand. Nevaeh Chantel is still in training, okay? Respectfully said, listen, in comparison to me and to what I've done,
it's night and day. In comparison, yeah, it's night and day.
In comparison. So how are you going to have this girl take that title and what's she going to do with it? They don't know. And again, I say this as respectfully as possible. You're going to be happy to be champion. You're going to take a bunch of pictures. You get some likes for a few days. But what are you going to do with that division? What are you going to do to make yourself stand out when Marina Shafir is your current heavyweight champion? The only person who can take on this task, this insurmountable task, which is why my name was beckoned. The only person who can do this is Darius Carter. So you better believe the moment that my name was announced, a plan was set into motion. A plan was set into place to use this championship, to make the most of this championship, and get my BCW title back too. I can have my cake and eat it too. You can sing happy birthday to me, and I still get multiple slices of my own cake. I can do that. Can you know? Can I? Yes.
I could.
Life isn't fair. Look, hey, life isn't fair, Mark.
No, it's not. It absolutely is not. No,
the
I agree with that.
tells right now is prime proof that life isn't fair, because that girl probably deserves to win the first round against somebody else. She probably deserves to make it to the second, and not the finals, but let's get her to the second. Let's get her something. She probably deserves some type of momentous victory for her own confidence, for the work that she's been putting in. Maybe she deserves a pat on the back. This match, honestly, it's in a way, this is her reward. The fact that she gets to step into the ring with Darius Carter, the fact that the bell will ring and she will stand against me one-on-one, person to person, in a championship qualifying tournament. This is her prize. This is her victory.
If anything, it's a masterclass, because I've seen firsthand, like, you do make anyone who's in that ring against you better. You do. You know, so, like, you know, if anything, if Nevaeh Chantel does lose, which, you know, the odds are against her, of course, and I think she does recognize that as well. Like, it's a tough task to face you in the ring in the first round. But, you know, if anything, if you're going to walk away with anything and feel good about it, this is a masterclass. You get to learn something here, being in the ring with someone like you. Darius Carter, thank you so much for your time here. So we are all out here. Cannot wait. Grand Dragon Tournament, October 30th. Tickets are still now for BCW at Richfield Park, New Jersey, the mecca of the Northeast for wrestling. Darius Carter, where can they find you in the socials?
You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. I make it very easy for you. /Mr. Darius Carter, MR Darius Carter. It's the same handle on all three of the majors. You'll find me promoting the event. You'll find me talking about this, talking about that, talking about everything that needs to be talked about at all times. It's great to be on the show. I'm glad that we got to gear ourselves up towards the Grand Dragon Tournament. I do think that this is going to be a changing of the guard sort of event. I do think that it's going to hit people out of nowhere. People may not know what to expect from this tournament, but when I take that championship and I raise it above my head, you will know that there is a new era in BCW, which is crazy to say because I was just a champion. But I'm doing it again. Woo!
Woo! And sorry, man, I'm just putting my bet right now in DraftKings for you to win the Grand Dragon Tournament. But in the meantime, thank you, Darius, for joining the show. Back to the studio for TV Takedown.
It's time for this week's TV Takedown.
One of my all-time favorite guests, Mr. Darius Carter. Can't wait to have you back.
Oh, yeah, man. Real recognizes real. That's what's up.
Yeah, great job. Good luck in a couple weeks at BCW. Not that you need it.
Not that he needs it at all. I mean, we heard right here. I mean, he feels very confident. He's got a great track record in tournaments.
Yeah, when hasn't he felt confident?
Right. I mean, I placed a bet in DraftKings on this. You know, I haven't
Let me
the
get
whole
that
thing.
right now. Let me get it right now.
It's a sure thing. It's a sure thing. But, Putty, we got some TV to talk about, right?
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's hop into it, man. Let's start with Monday Night Raw. Surprisingly enough, man, like, you'll never guess who was trending during this. Dominik Mysterio was trending. iBeastless is one of these tweets here. Dominik has got insane heat. They're not allowing him to speak. This heel turn has literally helped him massively. And yeah, dude, I noticed that. The boos were out of this world for this man. He was getting some serious. I can't tell necessarily if it's like real heat or if it's X-Pac heat, but whether it is, he's getting a reaction, which is awesome. He wasn't getting a reaction before he was a face. So this seems to be working. But I have to ask, is Dominik the most over heel in the Judgment Day?
Absolutely, hands down, yes. I mean, you hear the Judgment Day come out, and it's maybe some boos, but when Dominik just holds the microphone, he gets rained down upon boos like Elias did in Seattle, shitting on the Supersonics. It was just, and was it 2-3 weeks now? It's been building bigger and bigger and bigger. Dominik does not look like a W superstar. He doesn't wrestle like a W superstar. So I thought he would just flounder once he broke away with his father, which we knew was going to happen. But damn, I can admit when I was wrong. This is a perfect build for him. And that whole relationship with Rhea Ripley is great. The way they're building Dominik Mysterio is going to help him tremendously. Yeah, he's the most over heel in that heel faction without a shadow of a doubt.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Who else compares to that?
Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley helps make that storyline go. Is she the leader of the Judgment Day? And one could argue, yes, she is.
She's not.
What about what she did to Beth Phoenix, dude? That was the most heelish thing ever. What she did at Extreme Rules? Come on.
Clearly, Finn Balor is the leader of Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley is the leader of Dominik Mysterio. But yeah, I mean, I think he's the most over heel. I think Rhea Ripley does not get the same heel heat he does when she's on the microphone. Dominik is over, man.
But it goes back to my lead-in though. Is this real? Is he getting over as a heel, or is this X-Pac heat? These are two different things. Are they booing him because they feel like he sucks that bad? Or are they booing him because are they buying into this? Buying into him being a Rey Mysterio. Buying into him betraying his father. Buying into him betraying Edge even.
What's the difference? What's better? What's worse?
It's better to get over as a heel. It's better to go instead of like thinking, even fans, like, I can't stand this guy. He sucks. What is he doing on my TV? And for the record, by the way, I never thought X-Pac sucked. I never thought he deserved that treatment. But lo and behold, that's the term that's being used in this. I can't tell which one's which right now, or what he's getting, but it's definitely worse to get that X-Pac heat because, yeah, that means they don't like you at all, and there's nothing you do to change their mind.
Damian Priest isn't over as a heel. He's just there.
He's there.
Finn Balor is over, but not as over as...
He's over-ish, yeah.
Yeah, over-ish, thank you. But I think Dominik is definitely over, but he's more over
than Rhea, though? Rhea Ripley's, I think, more over.
No, he's more over than Rhea, but he's more over than Rhea because of Rhea, if that makes any sense.
So then Rhea wins.
No,
if it's because of her, she wins.
But she's not getting as heavily booed as he is, though. When Ray can
talk... Were you not watching Extreme Rules?
Ray can talk on the mic. Ray can speak. But Dominik just holds the mic. He gets showered with booze. Because no one wants to hear this fucking piece of shit talk.
Rhea can talk, yeah.
She's not getting showered with booze as much as Dominik is.
Because probably half the crowd thinks she's hot. I hate to say it, but
I think more than half.
Dude, we saw her share something on Twitter where one guy said, like, do me next after she kicked Edge in the balls.
I see that. Wow.
That's the type of mentality we're talking about here with the wrestling fans. So, I mean, like, yeah, unfortunately, that may have something to do with it. That's the harsh reality we live in. But Dom, like, again, going full circle here. You know, who's to say half the crowd's not booing him legit because they think he sucks? But moving on to NXT here, buddy. Quite a few things are trending at NXT, but this one I think was pretty interesting with Indy Hartwell and her finish in her match. You know, someone tweeted actually, Toxic Attraction saying she won off a suplex ? And so this sparked a lot of conversation amongst everyone. People will quote retweeting this. Sherilyn had a good one at Cheryl Delaware. That's a superplex. Ask the Dynamite Kid, Bob Orton, Barry Windham, and a ton of others about it. And a lot of people would say, superplex does hurt. And I think it was interesting that Indy Hartwell chose a non-finisher to finish the match with. And this has been a conversation amongst wrestlers at one point. And I want to see your opinion about this. Will matches ending with non-finishers be a thing of the future?
Are you talking about like a roll-up or like a move?
Like a move. Like the superplex. Like, that's not Indy Hartwell's finisher.
No.
But a superplex, it's a big-time move.
The question is,
it's not that thing.
What is her finisher? And why can it be that?
You know what? It very well could be.
Because
what's wrong with the superplex being a finisher?
One of my favorite interviews I've ever read about was Jake the Snake Roberts saying how his finisher, DDT, was revolutionary. When he hit that, match was over. Now all of a sudden in the new age of wrestling, someone hits a DDT, that's just a fucking rest move.
Right.
I'm like, all right. So there's a lost art of moves being finishers. Super kick was a finishing move. And now super kick starts the match.
Do you think it should be something more like that? That's like a feature type of thing. Like, we don't see it every so often that, maybe like a big pay-per-view or something. Remember when Daniel Bryan faced John Cena at SummerSlam? When Daniel Bryan won the championship, he hit the running knee for the first time. It looked like it was just a regular move, right? At that point, it looked like the match finished on a running knee. That's weird. Not the label lock, not a rope, not anything like that. It's just like a running knee. That was it. And then that wound up becoming his finisher going forward. So, going back to what we were saying with Indy Hartwell, like, who say this is not her new finisher?
Exactly, yeah. It could be. Because nobody's finisher is the superplex. So why not make it her finisher as long as nobody uses it in the middle of the match?
How cool would it be, though? Like, it adds a whole other unpredictable factor. Like, say, like, who say, like, someone can't win off like a diving elbow or off like a boot to the face or just like just a rolling elbow or whatever, an arm bar. It adds so much more intrigue. Like we can predict right now, like what's going to be 1, 2, 2.
Yeah, of course,
right?
Yeah.
But like it's 1, 2, we're going 2, it's 3. Like whoa, hold up, that wasn't a finisher. Like she just she's a regular move. I think, I don't know, man, because any one of these moves that you hit in real life, game over. Of course. If someone body slams you on the cement floor, game over in real life. I don't know, man. I think it'll be interesting to see going forward if they went about that.
Again, but in NXT, this might be like a trial. Like, can we bring old school moves as finishers back to the main roster? So this is interesting tryout.
But then, like, if Indy Hartwell decides to use this as a finisher, she's really got to make it her finisher. She's got to, like, bring some flair to it, if you will.
I'm sure she will.
Make it believable as your finisher.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
I'm sure she
will. I was
will.
going to say, Paul Heyman talked about, like, the art of a finisher, right?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Like, it's up to the commentators, too, to put this over.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
He used the example of a headlock. If Mark Henry put you in a headlock, that's believable. You see the size of his arms, right? And a headlock's a normal day move, but with Mark Henry, it's an extraordinary headlock. And then the commentator's like, look, he can't breathe anymore. His arms, it's the size of his neck. He's fading. He's fading. You also have to sell it. As a wrestler, you have to make your own. Yeah. As a wrestler taking it, you really have to sell. And then the commentator, it's all a cohesive unit. So I don't know. It's interesting to see. It was interesting to see that topic. And the original person who posted it's a superplex. Not a suplex. Let's get that straight. But moving on here to AEW. So Hangman Page, you see that promo, by the way, Putty? From Hangman Page?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people seem to see it. It's trending all over the place. Very passionate promo. Sidgwick at M. Sidgwick. That Hangman Page promo was absolutely incredible. He has very clearly wanted to say something like that, not to John Moxley, for quite some time. The conviction behind his words, the delivery, how he channeled something all too real for the business and of things, phenomenal. I have to say that I'm not going to say Hangman Page guy, but that was probably his best promo that I've seen him do. I'll say that. But with this going forward, they have the matchup coming up, I believe on Tuesday at AEW, Hangman Page versus John Moxley for the World Heavyweight Championship. Is Hangman Page, is he a contender or is he a pretender, Putty?
That's a tough one because he can be both. He's been a champion before, so he can be a contender. But I just feel like right now, in the current state of AEW, he's a pretender.
Wow. Why?
I never bought him as champion in the first place. I'm not a huge Hangman Page fan. It just seems like, all right, I get why they elevated him as champion. But then he lost to that guy. But
CM Punk.
But I don't know, John Moxley's champ. I just don't see Hangman Page being the guy to dethrone John Moxley right now.
Right now.
No, I can't see doing it. MJF.
I mean, obviously,
so does that make him a pretender then?
I mean, it depends who you're asking. I mean, so I would agree with everything you said.
All right,
right?
move on.
No.
Move on.
But it's not up to me. It's not up to you. It's up to the fans. And now, most of the fans, if you notice, I mean, they're very behind Hangman Page.
Aren't they though?
They seem to, whatever reason
they seem.
I personally don't get it.
To be behind him once he says something cool. Like when he came out against Jon Moxley, I didn't hear like a outburst of reaction until he said something. I forget what it was. And all of a sudden we hear the crowd say, "Cowboy shit, cowboy shit." Like,
generally speaking, though, I mean, also you have to keep in mind Hangman Page going face to face Jon Moxley, who's beloved universally in the AEW world. Hangman Page, though, for the most part, whatever arena he comes to, they love him. It's a majority of the people screaming cowboy shit. And then you look online, they're right there with him on Twitter. They're talking cowboy shit. They love Hangman Page. He is over. And for any Hangman Page fans out there, please at us and let us know, like, what is it about him? Me and you, I personally believe that he is a pretender. But this is why I disagree with that. I'm going against us because I'm going based on what the fans are saying and what obviously management is going. He's clearly a contender in their eyes.
No, of course he is.
And in Tony Khan's eyes. I
don't see him winning, though.
He could win.
Will he? Absolutely not. But if he loses, does that hurt him? Does that bring him down several more notches than he is now?
Is Tony Khan going to do him the favor of like, hey man, the only reason why you lost is because CM Punk wanted the belt.
No.
Here's you getting the belt back. Could it be as simple as that? There's a lot of weird shit going on in that locker room.
Yeah, I don't think so. But you're right.
It's do or die for Hangman though. You brought up a good point. If he loses, I mean, what does that do for him? That takes away a lot of momentum for him. Because he very much said, what does he have left? But we have some SmackDown to talk about, man. Obviously. The White Rabbit, all these weeks, been trending, and here he is, Bray Wyatt, finally back in WWE after a 2-year hiatus. Fiending for followers, one of the tweets here, at Fiend for followers, in quotes, "You guys saved my life." Direct quote from Bray Wyatt tonight. Damn, man, that shit was real. Did not expect that side of Bray at all. Promo was not what anyone expected. What we saw Extreme Rules, right, when Bray Wyatt came out at the end, that was very on brand for him. It was a cool reaction to see. A lot of questions going on. Is there going to be a stable based on the characters that he had? A great ovation from the fans for him. But then they ended a little weird, Putty, which makes me think, are we all getting worked here from that? Is it all like kind of like Mark Henry who did that whole retirement speech and it wound up being a swerve in his character? What did we see here tonight?
I'm like, he's coming out. I see the tears in his eyes. He's been out of the ring for how many months now? Finally, he steps back into those ropes, and that crowd reacted how I've not seen a crowd react in ages. So those tears I totally bought into. I believe that was Mr. Wyndham reacting to the reaction he's got. You saved my life. Again, like, all right, that's when I started wondering, what's going on here? I feel like something is amiss.
But
I feel like that was part at blurred lines of reality and storyline. That's reality. I feel like that's how he felt. Truly, that's how he felt. But that led the door open to but that could lead to this.
Yeah. So I think you're 110% right. I think what we saw there was because he's just such a creative genius, by the way, Bray Wyatt. I think he knew in his heart there was no way, especially after all that he went through, there's no way they can go out there, especially after the ovation he got Extreme Rules, go out there and not express how he felt, right, as a human being. I believe every word of that, what he said was true. But then there's like that dark, sick, twisted, creative mind that he has there that you could just, whatever we saw there at the end, right, it's just going to turn him, right? And he could use whatever he said there for whatever fuel that dark demon, whatever you want to call it, is going to use to take his wrath out on the rest of the WWE locker room.
Have you heard the names of who could be in his stable?
One name I heard was Aleister Black.
But who would he fill in?
I don't know. Buzzard?
So we heard different stories here, because from what I read today was you had the characters that we saw in Extreme Rules come to life.
Right. I don't know how I feel about that, but if anyone could pull that off, it's him.
Because during the video package, they were all covered in webs and dust, which I kind of happy about because I don't want to see Pee Wee Herman and The Fiend come back. Of course, and he has to evolve, which he is. Everybody knows about Bo Dallas coming back.
Right.
But now we have our boy, good friend of the show, Joe Gacy, coming back as Huskus. Grayson Waller coming back as the Mercy of the Buzzard. And Alexa Bliss coming back as Sister Abigail, which is a moot point because we've been saying that for years. But Joe Gacy and...
Morgan, no.
Yes. Which I want to touch upon because her digital exclusive interview after her match, she was just sitting in the corner, rocking back and forth, a la Mankind.
And then the smile at the end of the match at Extreme Rules.
Not even at the end, while she was getting choked out, she was smiling.
Right.
I'm like, that... I think that would be better than Alexa Bliss.
But Alexa Bliss, again, how they ended off, though, she betrayed him.
Yeah, exactly. Keep thinking about that. You're right. I forgot about that until you mentioned it a couple weeks ago. I'm like, yes, that's right.
So it wouldn't make sense for her to go back.
No, it wouldn't. Exactly. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm curious where this will lead to. Very happy he's back. Props.
And props to the production team, as always, the unsung heroes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That really sold the hell out of it. And hell, great new theme song, by the way.
Yeah. But is this new masked man that we saw in Extreme Rules and interrupting him on SmackDown the new Fiend? I wasn't a huge Fiend fan, but this shows more promise, and I can't explain why.
Well, it does make me think, like, how much, you're going to hate this, but, like, how much say or how much override power did Vince McMahon have in Bray Wyatt's ideas? Could that have played a factor in derailing any momentum behind Bray Wyatt? Like, Triple H may not fully understand Bray Wyatt, but he definitely understands the fact that Bray Wyatt and trusts that Bray Wyatt could be a moneymaker.
The moral of the story here is there's so many questions left unanswered.
So many questions. So many. That's the thing with Bray Wyatt, what you love about him so much. He'll give you a little answer, but then he just opens the door for so many more questions.
Anyway, on that note, let's wrap things up. So, Marcus, go on thoughts for you, my friend.
What do I have, man? I actually do. I'm back. I'm back doing some filming work this coming week. I'm excited about that. I'm going to be working on a short film and a web series back to back.
Shit, okay.
I'm excited. It's my first time getting back after it since Blacklist, since like my baby was born. So I've been itching to do something again. I'm just glad that, like, as much as I love being a dad, I am still very much about living my dream, being an actor, doing what I love doing. Because even more so now than ever, because my whole thing is inspire. Like, I want others to, I want to be inspiration for others. So, if I can do it, you can do it as well. To follow your dreams. And now it's even more so with my daughter. I want to be an example for her. Like, you have a dream, you can go for it. You can do it. Don't let others stop you from doing it. But for everyone watching or listening back home, thank you for tuning in. You can follow us at Shot of Wrestling on all forms of social media. Our video pages will be up on YouTube as well, so make sure you subscribe to us on there. As for me, you can find me at yourfavoriteactor.com. Oh, yeah, yourfavoriteactor.com, excuse me. That's my website. Sorry, it's a little bit late for me. All my social media links are on there, as long as Shot of Wrestling stuff is on there as well. And Putty, dude, why don't you tell them what shirt you're wearing right now, man?
The one and only Shane Fair shirts available on ProWrestlingTees.com. Great quality shirt. Make sure you check it out.
It's a badass shirt, man.
It's Grand Theft Auto inspired. Shout out to Shane Fair. Great shirt. Looking forward to what shirt I wear next week. But this is the end of our show. In the next couple of weeks, we have BCW's Grand Dragon Tournament.
Grand Dragon Tournament, man. I'm pumped for it.
October 30th in New Jersey. Tickets are still available online. Make sure you tune into BCW social medias, our social medias. Do not want to miss that. The Grand Dragon Tournament finally underway. But can't wait, man.
History will be made.
That's probably the next time I see you in person.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll be doing commentary for that show. This is a great tournament, man. There's a lot of talent. You have Darius Carter. You have Amber Rodriguez. You have Christina Marie. You have Anthony Gangone. You have Jay Bougie. We have a lot of talent there. You have BFT. There's going to be the Runway. The who's who. There's going to be there. A lot of talent.
You're missing AJ Pan.
Talent. I'm talking about talent.
Wow. I'm post that clip on social media.
Please do. So here's the thing. Your favorite actor is going to be there, and I'm going to be scouting because I'm looking to run a new crew.
Anyway, Mr. Darius Carter, thank you for your time. So for Mark Schwann, I've been your host at Moxley Putty. Until next week, Putty out.
Hey baby, I hear the bell ringing, hip tosses and body slams. Oh my. And maybe you seem a bit confused, yeah baby, but I got you pinned. Ha 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 ha. But I don't know what to do when I see them with that golden case. They're cashing it in. Authority all in my face. What is a man to do? Good night, everybody.